Okay, finally. Uh, uh, uh. Whatever. I can't even put music, so whatever, bro. Okay. Why am I hitting myself, bro? Okay, this is fine, bro. So bad. What is going on? Okay, finally. Yeah. I don't know why Obs fucking reset it, bro. Like, I'm listening to music and you can't hear it. It's just dumb. Stupid fucking Obs. But like, tanks don't even know how to do the routes, man. I mean, it's 20s, bro. How did you get here without knowing all this? Like, it's just so fucking dumb, bro. This is why I don't know if I want to push anymore, because look at this, like it's just tanks don't know what to do, bro. In fucking 20s, like it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. It's like I don't know, man. It's like so dumb. Why did I kill me, bro? Holy shit, man! Like he doesn't know how to burst heal this shit. There's no way. He's just nah, man. This is just how you die at this guy, man. Like nah, it's fucking shit. Nah, DK dies, man. How you die as a DK, bro? There's just no way. People did something else than what normally we do, so. And the tank doesn't know route at this level. I mean, no. Ah, and this is why it's super annoying. Okay, let me fix audio. Um. So normally, actually, I'm missing a picture. Picture. Where the fuck is it? Kind of this. And Chrome 2. This has to be it. Um, where is this? Not this. This. 1 hour resident phone gym aggression. So this is supposed to be let me check. Oh, okay, it's this one, actually. But why can't I select it?
But I keep.
Okay, now it's selected. Okay, now it's selected. Okay, I have too many tabs. And the thing is, I need to find. I need to find another little tab here, but I can't find it. There's another one. Can't find it. There's one with. Let me check. Let me check. Okay, so from this guy. Oh, is it this one? Yep. Oh, I can hear it. Oh, I can hear it. Okay, let me check. How does this work? Okay, let me check. From 2 and a max. Should be fine. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Took me a while because yeah.
Faz perder o sentido.
Okay. Well, let's restart it, huh?
Sussurra, sussurra, sussurra. Sente a vibe, vai!
This is why. So as you can see, man, right now. Wait. Am I double? Why am I doubled? Okay. Mic is a bit weird. So it's snowball. Hello. Okay, what is this? Enable monitoring. I know I don't need that. Why am I hitting myself double, bro? Oh, I know why. Because whatever I hit on my headphones, maybe. Wait, close. Okay. So, as you can see, people don't even know the route for the skip, and it's not really fun to stay and teach people what they're supposed to be doing. I don't even have an all guitar except for this one. Yeah. It's very annoying without a team, and it's very time consuming, and I don't know if want to waste time with this kind of shit. So, there are any seats, man? Are you kidding me? And we need like a monk, bro. Like it's just, I don't know. Mysara Caverns. This one looks okay, but okay. Let me check if my oh. None of the people that I usually do M plus with are even online, except for one guy, but he's a DK. And he hasn't even gotten Rezel, I think, or I don't know. Wait, did he got Rezel? Hey, did you get Resi 20? Question mark. Hello. Ooh, it's online. And why can't like my chat is bugged, man? From all the add-ons I have, I guess. So. Yeah. Okay. Well, not sure what people are gonna do. Wait, what is this? Signed up. Why am I signed up? Also weird. Okay. Okay. Mm. Yeah. This is boring, bro. Like, I don't know. I'd rather go play my warrior and have some fun with it. Grind some of the gear, maybe. Or, I mean, I'm either gonna go into a big group or not at all. So, yeah. Mm.
O grave sussurrando, dominando o som. A batida
Aura
perfeita que
Funk.
prende a
It's a new song. Let's see. New video out. It's a little bit. I'm not sure. Oh, it's best boosted. Okay, I don't know if I want best boosted. Brazil. Okay. Is this one? Oh, this is one song. Viral Dark Aura. What is this? Where is it?
El golpe, no resista.
It's not bad.
C'est le succès, succès, le grand succès. J'ouvre les portes et j'ai tous les accès. La basse qui tape, le rythme qui claque. Mon équipe avance, on mène l'attaque. Lève la tête, monte le son. Le succès est là.
Should I go check how low keys are right now? What is this song, bro? Or is it in fucking French? Or what is this? How is like this one? How is this not in my music list? That's what I don't know. Because public. Do I have one what's not? Let's check something. Oh, yeah. Just check. Icy veins, arms. Beauty. So normally you want this. You want the weapon from Pete. Let's see, seat gloves. So I guess you catalyze everything else. Oh, okay, catalyze the boots. Really? Well, that's good. What does the guide say? I want gaze and heart. Of course you do. Oh, gaze and heart. Major weapons. Cantrips. What's it? Oh. Necklace. Where? Okay. So I need hands with wrist and chest.
Que te faz sentir, acelera o passo, não perde o controle. Essa noite é nossa, sumindo o rolê, o volume no máximo sem hesitar. O que queima não vai apagar. Queima, deixa queimar. O fogo não vai apagar.
And now, let me go here and check something. How many of these I have? Oh. Well, I'm gonna upgrade the trinket. You actually want heat, right? No, I actually. Yeah. You want a lot of heat? So. Oh, I didn't go in pit because nobody would invite me probably. But yeah, let's go pit. Already have 3 haste, so okay, so there's one thing that I want to change now. How to, because I should put maybe like this. Hopefully, I don't use fear at all, so what the hell? No, I have. Yeah, oh shit. I'm not gonna have a big enough key. Let's try and just place it 10 maybe.
Deixa a batida que o corpo cobiça.
Nobody's gonna invite me, I think so. Actually, it might be better if I just two void quills. How is that even possible? kind of weird that the only thing I can do is actually bells, right? So I actually have a one hand. Funny. I don't have a. Oh shit. Tormented Rise.
Essa batida de pega te faz flutuar. O grave no peito não vai te soltar. A pista no transe, o brilho no olhar. É o som do delírio
Let me
pra te
see.
conquistar.
Dark Way. But why not 11 though?
A
I mean,
noite nos chama, o ritmo conduz. Segue o balanço, esquece a luz. Cada batida é um novo feitiço. Se perder nesse som, nosso compromisso. Não para agora, deixa a
okay,
mente
what are we doing?
nessa
Dark
frequência a
Way,
gente vai se
which is
encontrar.
where?
Enfeitiça, enfeitiça. Sente a pressão
Oh,
subir.
it's here. Okay.
1, 2, 3, vai! Essa bate, 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 essa batida te pega, te faz flutuar. O grave no peito não vai te soltar. A pista no transe, o brilho no olhar. É o som do delírio pra te conquistar. Vem, enfeitiça. Deixa o som te levar. Provoca, me provoca. O som bate forte, a mente descola. Provoca. Keep you on. Sente a vibe.
I don't even know what to do. Let me check Spotify a little bit. Cause I'm just super bummed. Super bummed. I want some ice cream. Bro. Let me get like songs. I don't know what this is. Let me check. Is Spotify getting it? Should be getting it soon. Hopefully. Unauthenticated. How am I unauthenticating Stream Elements, motherfucker? Holy shit, annoying. Wait, what? The fuck are they doing, bro? Like, what? Bro, these people. Why can't they just wait? Bro, like, seriously. Bro, whatever. Why are you dumb, bro? I'm doing random shit. Bro, I'm gonna get an ice cream. These fucking people. Bro, people are dumb. Okay, what is going on? Okay, so not, people can't even do deals. Very interesting. Very interesting. Like, do. Bro, what music did I put? Let me get some of this. Mm. 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 Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put this like this. I'm eating ice cream too. Mm. Well, Why do I have so stupid ads like this, bro? Hmm? Mm. Okay, I finished my ice cream. Uh, fucking hell, man! I can't like. Jesus Christ. Bro, why are the ads there, bro? Like, I hate this stupid dungeon, bro. It's the worst fucking design I ever seen. Let's go left and go right because we can't fucking continue left. Like, what the fuck is that? Ugh. Ugh. This is too slow for me. This guy has the same gear as me. That's why this shit is slow. Picking one mob at a fucking time, bro. I should have been a tank here. Like, what is this? No, I don't get it. Can we get more, please, bro? So boring. What? Okay. What? Cleave doesn't fucking apply more. What the fuck? Mm. Uh, this is so weird. Ah, so they changed it. So where is he going? Ah, it's only healing effects. Oh, okay. So that means I can just. Wow, it's actually a good change because. Oh, they're getting boons and shit. I don't look. I didn't saw them, bro. What is it doing, bro? What the brother? Oh my god, what is happening? Oh, bro, I don't understand. Like, are we? The tank meta first look. Not that I care, but uh, 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 pause this. Let's check out new video because I want to hear him talk. So, what are we doing, bro? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Oh, we're getting upgrades. Okay. Let's see.
What is going to be the meta tank for next season? While it is important to reserve judgment until tuning is final, we can actually begin to have a conversation about what the meta might look like
Bro, what
based
is
on a
this
few
tank
factors that have been consistent across the Mythic Plus seasons. So strap yourselves in because this video will aim to explore why certain tanks become meta and also the various factors that go into making a tank meta for a season. So, of course, with the balance of Season 1, all tanks are super viable. That's the first joke of this video. The second joke is that that will definitely carry into next season. There has been an oppressive tank the first half of Season 1, overshadowed, of course, by Guardian in the later half of Season 1. They very rarely let the same tank be meta 2 seasons in a row, outside of Dragonflight Season 3 and 4, where you had VDH supremacy because of how they were designed. So VDHs are still paying for the sins of their ancestors during that season. So here's what I can tell you. The new dungeon is designed in 2 specific ways. Number 1, it is not that hard for tanks. This is actually very good, and I think the dungeon design here for tanks is actually true to a design goal, which I am going to cover at the end of this video, which may actually broaden the gap, or broaden the accessibility rather, not the gap, of what tanks you might be able to bring toward next season. Because ideally, if tanks weren't as checked, you would actually have the ability to play more of them. That might also be an issue, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This dungeon requires 2 things for your tank. Number 1, the ability to live auto attack damage. Every single tank is capable of doing this, although some may have an easier time. Actually, almost every tank buster in the first area of this dungeon behind me features an auto attack ramping speed increase. Effectively, these guys do a lot of melee damage, but the tank buster is not a bleed and it isn't a dispellable mechanic. So you don't have a benefit to basically being a parry-based tank or a tank that can basically reset those bleed
This is the
stacks.
worst boss I've seen.
Dwarf has
like,
almost no
design.
value
It's
in this
just
dungeon, which is really
stupid.
nice. You won't have to feel the pressure to re-roll based off of Alter Fangs at the very least. And so you have this kind of accessibility. Some tanks are better at dealing with melee damage, but the other way that it's designed is that it only requires about 2 seconds of downtime to reset. And so most of the tank checks in here, every tank will be able to deal with them, and that will be that's a good thing. We want that because alternatively we have first pull Algathar Academy, which is unfairly punishing to Prot Warrior, which leads me into the second thing that you should know about dungeon design. Effectively, the dungeon determines what the power level of a tank might be if Blizzard gets its tuning right. It did not in Season 1, but Prot Warrior was not horrifically tuned. It's just that we had a brutal dungeon season for Prot Warrior. You had the first pull of Nexus, the entire left side of Nexus, which put healing absorbs on the tank. Prot Warrior is not as good at dealing with those as other tanks. You had the first pull, many bleeds in the season. You had some things that were spell reflectable. Prot Warrior had some unique advantages, but ultimately, the type of damage that we really encountered in Season 1 of Midnight was not melee damage. It was largely bleed damage, magic damage, this type of damage, etc. We have some dungeons in the pool which we know are going to clap the tank. Back Ruby Life pools, people remember how atrocious this dungeon might have been for the AoE damage it provided, but the first boss also clapped the tank. It basically didn't melee you, it put a magic hit on you. The first area of the dungeon was limited not by what your group could survive, but oftentimes by what your tank could survive. And we forget that because in the first area we had VDH supremacy who could sigil everything together and effectively ignore all the casters. That was a problem because stops have been changed, kicks have been changed, and if they don't redesign this dungeon carefully, that could be an issue, let alone the rest of the dungeons, which also feature other old mechanics. I don't want to get into that too much though because we don't know how they're going to redesign things. They've already stated explicitly they will take a look at old dungeons, and as part of the notes coming up, take a look at the screen behind me, they have specifically stated that they want tanks and healers to have less pressure going into Midnight Season 1. That's a little weird because they nerfed healers and tanks by 25% going into the next season, so we'll see how that all plays out. Effectively, from my perspective here, we have a nerf to all tanks and healers going into the next season, and they have a unique opportunity to balance the tanks accordingly if they desire. So what that means is that they're going to come up with whichever tank they want to be the best, they can effectively just bounce that one up. And as much as I want to say that they're going to do that fairly, we don't know. You're watching this video once again because they haven't really hit the nail on the head with this recently. Guardian Druid was ahead by so far, even though some of the last dungeon pool was kind of anti-unfriendly for Guardian. As an example, the Skyreach Bleeds were so much easier to deal with on a Brewmaster or even a VDH. Now, the change behind me does lead me to believe that two things are going to be asked of your tank, basically, in the following season. If it's not so much of a survivability check, and you have one tank which can just survive way more than every other tank, that would actually be good. Because tank damage can at least be bridged if you have a season where one tank has 30% more damage than everyone else. At the very least, you could somehow bridge that in a dungeon. You cannot bridge a survivability gap of 5 key levels. So the difference of playing, for example, last season, a Prot Pally versus a Guardian Druid was immense, and I hope that they do better on that in the following season. But what I can tell you is that individual tuning is important. I can also tell you, before I even begin to continue on this video, I want you to take a look behind me and realize something. When I walk into the first poll, we can't currently test Guardian Druid because the Apex talent, which they want you to play, look, the second that I activate it, every single mob gets AoE taunted in a 40-yard radius, completely ignoring line of sight. I did not hit these things. My Apex talent is actually just so bugged that I cannot test the current implementation of it. So if anybody tells you they know for sure what's going to be meta or starts talking to you about current tuning of tanks, this is a red flag, and be very wary of this. We have literally no idea. I can tell you based on dungeon design what this dungeon is asking me to do as a tank, but I cannot tell you based on current power level because A, that will change drastically. We have seen them buff things by 100%, 200% values in the past, but also there are still so many egregious bugs that we can't even test. So that is something very important to keep in mind, and probably I should have opened the video with that. So when we look at the dungeon pool, we don't know what these will actually be changed to, but in Mythic Zero testing, this one had a ton of curses, which again, there's only one tank that can do poison and curse dispel, which is the Guardian Druid. But I don't know how each tank is actually going to function going into the next season. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why make this video then? Part of it is because I at least wanted to acknowledge the changes to maybe making each tank a little bit better at surviving the dungeons. But what's important to understand about this is that if you actually make it so that every tank can survive, two things matter. Number one, your individual damage contribution or group utility. And group utility for tanks is actually one thing: your group buff. Group buffs are really quite an atrocity for Mythic Plus when you stop and think about it. You as a tank will be relegated to group buff bot. That's what healers are currently as well. Very rarely do you have one healer or one tank that is so far ahead of everything else that their group buff is completely irrelevant. We had that with Mistweaver last season, but I don't think we're going to get that again in Season 2. If they actually nail the balance and tanks are a little closer together, then you have some tanks that have a group buff and other tanks that don't. We can basically say that Blood DK is not going to be the meta tank. We can also kind of safely say that we have Druid and Brewmaster almost certainly not going to be in the absolute dominating position that they were last season, and so that kind of leaves Prot Warrior, Prot Pally, and VDH. Those would be the three that I would be looking at right now. VDH currently does a lot of damage. I am curious to see how they perform, because no one, as far as I know, has really tested them too much on PTR thus far, and in this dungeon, they don't provide a poison dispel, and Devour Demon Hunter has been so good that you haven't seen a lot of VDH. VDH also suffers with the Apex implementation, which is still largely RNG-based, so it requires very careful play, and does not have the overpowered kit that it used to have. So it is no longer the CC King, but individually does a lot of damage. We'll see how that actually carries into next season. Prot Warrior is getting a fundamental change where I wonder if you'll actually be playing
change?
Colossus instead of Mountain Thane with the addition of the new tier set and some of the changes to Colossus. Again, I actually want to test some more and see how that plays, but Prot Warrior will feel really good in a dungeon like the Altar of Fangs behind me because a lot of it is melee damage based. Might struggle in some other dungeons if it is not overtuned. We have then the Prot Pally, which seems to be it has gotten a lot of great changes, feels really good to play in this dungeon, even though straight raw melee damage tends to be its weakness. Prot Pally still suffers from one other gigantic flaw, which is that in high level play, you can identify how long a pull is going to last, but in lower level dungeons or pug groups, Prot Pally can suffer because it still requires cooldown rotation. With the removal of Sanctified Wrath, even though you now have Sentinel plus crit wings in one together talent, so you can take both, the duration is approximately 19 to 21 seconds, with Bloodlust a little bit more, maybe with some better gear scaling, we'll have 22, but you don't have full coverage as a Prot Pally, and so you have to start either rotating, kiting, etc., and it depends on how they make the season. Prot Pally is perfectly capable of doing those things, but might be in a position where you still have to call for externals to kind of live the higher keys, and it could suffer from just raw melee damage. As an example, the very first boss in this dungeon kind of hits weirdly hard. I don't notice it on my Guardian, I don't notice it on my Warrior, of course, or even my Brewmaster, but I did notice it on my Prot Pally. And that could be a thing, and a factor to consider is that when you see Prot Pally in the higher level play, you can say, well, this pack's going to live for 35 seconds, therefore I have a plan for 35 seconds, and when I play a different tank, that is not the case. Guardian Druid had full coverage, but now has gotten a Lunation nerf, so no tank is going to have proper full coverage if you're a cooldown-based tank, with the exceptions, of course, of something that is not cooldown-based. So those 3 cooldown-based tanks are VDH now, Guardian Druid, and Prot Pally, whereas Prot Warrior, although you have some major cooldowns, your base mitigation is the thing that you are trying to maintain. Brewmaster, although you have cooldowns to rotate, its base kit is what carries it through dungeons. And then, of course, you have Blood Decay, which, like Blizzard, I will forget about until the next video. So anyways, I hope this has been kind of an interesting rant. If you're a tank player and you're curious about learning and potentially considering what might be meta, I do have one...
Top. Like, I will forget about it like Blizzard. New old podcast. Artemir. Who is Artemir, bro? The unspoken problem with Mythic Ray. I want to hear this. How long is this video? 9 minutes? That's fine.
The problem with Mythic rating, and I did hear this on a very popular podcast yesterday. Love the podcast. No flame to them. But there is a clinical error that they are missing, that there's just a massive problem with Mythic rating, which is not how good it is, because it is good. It's fun. Mythic rating is cool. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good they make it. It doesn't matter how many rewards they put to it. The main reason that most people can't Mythic raid is specifically because we are all a little bit older. Many of the WoW player base have children, have families, have this, have responsibilities, have jobs. And if you ask them to commit 3 to 4 hours, minimum twice a week, they can't. It's an accessibility issue, not a tuning issue. Not a, well, you know, you should just suck it up and find a raid group. You can't. It's not about, it doesn't matter if you make the items 10 item levels higher. It'll make people feel bad because they can't. It's not, do you know what I'm saying? This is the thing that's missing from some of the player bases. There's this weird mentality like everybody wants to play the game at a certain point. We do, but much of the WoW player base is a little older than they used to be, and it's actually something that they can't do. Mythic Plus is accessible because you can log, the kids go to sleep and you go, oh, I have an extra hour, they went to bed, it was all good night, everything's good, and you have an hour or two to play. And you can log on and do some keys. And that is the reality for a large portion of the people who now engage with endgame content. But that wasn't the case for an extremely long time, by the way. And that's the biggest change that has happened. And we need to acknowledge that. Like, that needs to be talked about. because that's the significant problem with raiding. It's the 20 people, the flex sporefall. I'm curious to know how that went as an experiment. But if you are the type of person who this applies to out of curiosity, like say something, let me know. I feel like there's this weird thought process like everybody who plays World of Warcraft is still in their 20s and could just make 8 hours a week. Bro, 8 hours a week is a lot. The vast majority of people can't just randomly find 8 hours a week. That's a big ask. Like if I was like, yeah, you could just make a new hobby. You just, it just takes a few hours. It's not like 2 hours, and it's a consistent. You have to commit to 19 other people are down depending on you, and it's consistent. You can't flex it. You can't be like, oh, hey, can we move this now? No, it has to be consistent. That's a real barrier to mythic rating. Jezza, people are that busy. That's the problem. That's the issue, is you don't realize that there's a lot of different types of people who play World of Warcraft. I asked this earlier. Jezza, do you have children? Do you have a job? Like, what's your reality right now? I don't have a child. I have a life. I got a real job. But also, for what it's worth, I get to stream. This is a part now of my life. I get to play this game for hours more than most people do. And I still don't want to commit to a mythic raid. Part of it is time zone. Part of it is that I live in Thailand. And that's another big issue. What if your timing doesn't line up with the raid that you actually want to join? You say, well, there's another group. Okay, so what if the only group that will take you, because now you're not a CE raid, whatever, you don't have the parses. Okay, so what if the group you want to join, you don't get along with them because there's 19 other people and they're all making jokes in raid that you don't like. It's not your vibe. That's a problem. What about that? Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it. You see, that's a big issue, because now what if you find a group and you're like, this is the group. I found a group to mythic raid with, but you don't get along with them. So now you have to leave that guild and you have to find another. It's very difficult to get 19 people with you who you get along with, that you enjoy, because the ultimate truth of it is this. If you force people to mythic raid and they go through all that effort and they say, okay, I'm going to put the kids to bed a little earlier, or I'm going to change my schedule, or these are the hours I have, and you join a guild, and you're not having a good time, you're not making it through a prog boss that has 200 pulls. It's a miserable experience. Think about it. You'll do the first 4, and you'll be like, okay, and then you hit the wall. You hit whatever that mid-raid wall is, and it's like, now all of a sudden you're in a 200 pull prog boss. Good luck. It's over for you and your guild. The vibes are destroyed because people don't actually want to be there. And when you are spending hours and hours trying to solve something, and the same person makes a mistake, or this happens or that happens, you can't just replace them because there's a roster issue. You can't just find a new player. This is a real issue. Yeah. Seriously, there's so many barriers to raid, but the main thing is accessibility. Because this doesn't get solved if you make the best raid that WoW has ever had. You see? It doesn't get solved if you put rewards in raid that people now all of a sudden have to do. That's not it cannot be the solution, because that doesn't actually fix the underlying fundamental problem, which is the accessibility of raid. Is there a way that they could design it? Potentially. There are a few things they could do. I don't know if they will. But if you take a look at the statistics of how many people actually mythic raid versus how many people complete a keystone, it is vastly different. And yet, raiding is the pillar that they keep trying to reinforce. They're taking a basically leap of faith, saying in the season 2, they've made changes to incentivize raiding further. I get it, but it's not going to work the way they want it to work because of this barrier that they're not accounting for. And I have a real issue with that, because it's almost like Blizzard doesn't understand their player base. And I kind of wish they did, because I love this game and I want to enjoy this game and I want this game to succeed. But the changes they're making don't address anything. You could mess with the lockout a little bit. I don't know how they do this. You could mess with a lockout. You could give more flex rating. You could give more one boss raids, because a one boss raid is puggable if you have 3 hours in a night. Possible. If you're geared, you can get into a Sporefall. Maybe it takes your group 10 pulls, but you can do it. Chimeras was like a good balance because it was annoying. Some groups, by the way, could not kill Chimeras. You just couldn't get the interrupts right. You'd be there for like 5 hours. And again, there's that difference of, when I've heard that on the podcast, they were like, Chimeras is a very puggable boss. And I was like, what pugs were you in? Because I let me join. Can I tank for your pugs? Like what's happening? Because when I tried to pug Chimeras in the first few weeks of the season, it was literally impossible. Like you would not meet the DPS check first of all. You would just have the boss like it would just get literally impossible. Nobody could kick, nobody would grip, and it's like, well, Sporefall's better because there's one kick, and you don't have to have everyone contribute to it. Sporefall is a good balance, and they're like, well, it was such an easy raid, we went in and one-shot it. I was like, with your mythic CE Hall of Fame guild, and again, I'm not trying to flame it because that reality is real for some people, but it is also a fact that many people could not pug Sporefall Mythic because it was actually, there were some mechanics. And it takes one person who doesn't know that they're fixated on the ad. But the main thing is, keys are an accessibility thing where if you're good at the game and you want to commit to it, you can. And for example, you were saying, Jezza, you have your own business, you have 2 children, you make time. Fair enough. I am glad you like this game that much. Can I ask you a question, Jezza? If you have your own business, you have 2 children, you make time for the game. How long have you been playing World of Warcraft? This is another factor to this conversation that we haven't even talked about, and it's a big one. If I may ask, you had around 200 pulls on Chimera's pug before I got it down. Yeah, Papa,
200
that is a
pulls.
reality for, I think, more people. They've been trying to force Mythic Plus players to raid forever. They make it very good for one season, throw it all away, and put it on fire. Sampa, it bothers me a little bit. I wonder why they're changing all these systems, because I'm curious for what it's worth. Was Season 1 bad? Like, I asked this question yesterday. I was like, did we need to change all this? I feel like Season 1 was really good. I feel like everybody was pretty happy. Like, raiders were happy. I didn't hear any raiders were like, oh, I'm so mad at Mythic Plus players because they can get loot. Like, I don't think anybody was unhappy. There was an issue with heroic raid. Nobody wanted to heroic raid because you didn't need to do that. That's a problem. And they...
Hello? What?
Yeah, Papa, that is a reality for... Raiders were like, oh, I'm so mad at Mythic Plus players because they can get loot. Like, I don't think anybody was
they
unhappy.
just randomly
There was an issue with heroic...
stopped. Okay. Oh. What we're doing, but okay, so I want to comment on his video and explain why people don't like Mythic Plus, and it's one reason and one reason only. It's because instead of doing something that relies purely on mechanic and that's it, you're doing DPS checks. And the moment you fail a raid, not because of a mechanic, but just out of DPS check, that's when shit goes to south. And I mean, look at Final Fantasy. I don't think Final Fantasy 14 is based solely on raids. It's based only on doing the tactic. I don't know if it's about DPS. I mean, sure, DPS helps, but ultimately, it's about doing the mechanic. And also the raid in Final Fantasy 14 is smaller. It's like 8 people, I think, right? It's because you have static groups. I didn't play Final Fantasy 14 raids. I saw them. I don't like leveling, so I'm not gonna waste time with that. But oh, nobody interrupted. Very interesting. Oh, Macarena. Ooh. Why are they not like? Are you blind? Because I'm blind and I can still see it. So. Oh, give me my rewards. Give me my rewards. Yeah. What is this? Let me check something. 90 and 800, right? Fuck me. Well, wait, no, I can get with undercoins. Bro, I can get with undercoins. Hello. Okay. Thank you. Let me comment on the video. The main reason people don't like mythic raiding is because of it feels super hard to do the because not enough if they do this and just right it better. Alright. Well, now that I commented on this, we need some music, we need some, I don't know, some drama. I think